Hello and welcome to another Sunday morning Manchester United transfer review live. First comment I want to get into straight away was from Terry S there. I can't believe the number of Manchester United fans who don't want Paul Pogba, which we'll be coming to in a moment. But it's fantastic, isn't it? We said July would be going off like a bomb and we've said it for weeks. July the 1st, Zlatan. I just can't stop smiling every time I say those words. Signs for Manchester United. Yesterday, it's official that Mkhitaryan will sign, although he's not been announced by the club. Dortmund have said it's happening. They're the selling club. BBC have said it's happening. They're credible. The United Stand said it's happening. And so that's happening. And then day 3, 3rd of July, another big thing. The return of the Sunday night show for the United Stand at 9 o'clock tonight with Zara. Pep v Jose. It's going to be a fantastic show. Join us for that. But yeah, let's fly up into these transfer rumours. Got a lot to discuss as per usual. Some big stories as well that we're not just plucking them out of the air, which I think that's the great thing about Manchester United under Mourinho. He doesn't mess around. He wants his players in position for pre-season tours, pre-season training, so that he can get them integrated in the squad. Over the last few years with Moyes, which was a disaster, with Van Gaal, you know, it's the last week of the transfer window in August. We've already played 2 or 3 games and potentially messed up 9 points in the league, and we're still negotiating for players. Personally, don't know what you thought about that, but it always wound me up. The first 3 games of the season, you're effectively handing points on a plate to other teams because you've not done your business, and it's really frustrating. Mourinho doesn't do that. He's great in the transfer market, and we'll get most of our signings done before the start of the season, which is superb. And we said that would happen. A couple of deals I want to talk about. Obviously, Pogba. Anthony Johnson's on about Mata to Everton. The Carrick fan, it seems like we have a plan at last after messing about over the last 2 years. The transfer negotiations look good. Tim O'Kelly talking about Lozano. Let's talk about Hirving Lozano, start talk, because there is a video out there on the United Stand. I did it about 3 weeks ago. If anybody doesn't know who he is, he's a 20-year-old. He'll be 21 at the end of July. Right midfielder, plays on the left midfield, can also play number 10 for Mexico. Now, the people who've scouted him in Mexico say his style of play is like George Best. I'm not saying he's George Best. I don't think the scouts are saying that. But his style of play is like that. He likes to take people on. And in Mexico, he can go past absolutely anybody. He had a half-an-hour cameo against Uruguay in the Copa America. He was sensational. Very direct, fast, takes players on, scores goals, assists. Really good player. What you've got to consider is he's playing in the Olympics for Mexico. So if we sign him, then he's not going to come in until the end of August. But he's probably not going to be a first-team player straight away anyway. I'd like to sign him. I like the look of him. And also, as cynical as it is, we've got a massive fan base in Mexico. So you buy their best player and it just enhances that from a business side of thing. And you never should sign somebody just on business, but he's probably their best player coming through at the moment. And I think he'd be an absolutely fantastic signing. The reason I think it might be happening, a few weeks ago, his agent said a deal to Manchester United is quite close. And you think, well, agent, whatever. I think the day before yesterday, his stepdad or dad said he'll be signing for Manchester United after the Olympics. And then this morning, ESPN saying that, and the club itself, Panacho, I think it is, he plays for, or Panuccio or Panaco or whatever, they are saying that there is the deal is there to be done as well. So there's a lot going on. I like him a lot, and hopefully we will sign him. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens with that. Let me. Somebody's just saying that the audio is way out of sync. I think I probably know why. That's my fault. Let me sort this out. Apologies for that. Basics. Should sort out that for you. Let's have a look. To be honest, I would have liked Sadio Mane, says Ahmad Hassan. I wouldn't have liked Sadio Mane at all. I think he was a Van Gaal signing, and he would have been better than what we've got. And I think under Van Gaal, you were sort of signing players because you wanted to sign players better than you want, and he's fast. Mkhitaryan is on a different level. We will be doing a Mkhitaryan video, by the way. I'm just not going to discuss him today because I want to talk other things, because I expect a Mkhitaryan reaction video live to be at some point today or maybe even tomorrow. But we won't touch on that, other than suffice to say, absolutely brilliant. Let me have a look at some of your comments, because Lozano, anyway, I would like to sign him if people are joining us late. I think he'd be a very good backup on the right midfield. And I think he's young, and I think it could be one of the best players. And what I like about him is he likes to take people on. Lozano is better than Lingard, says C.O. Tully. Definitely. Draxler, says David Beckham, question mark. I like the look of Draxler, and I know a lot of people want Draxler. I've just got a funny feeling we won't be in for him, and I don't know why. I just don't think we will. He's a decent player. Again, he likes to dribble. He's a winner playing in a Germany side. He's done well at Wolfsburg this year and Schalke previously. And he's that right sort of age, isn't he? Like early 20s. He'd probably want to be playing first team football. Would he be playing first team? I suppose the positive thing is if you buy Draxler, Mkhitaryan at number 10, Martial on the left, Zlatan up front, where does Rooney go? Belleridge 1, I do not want Pogba. This is another Ramos saga. I quickly just want to say about Lassana Diarra. We were linked to him quite strongly a couple of days ago. People don't know who he is. He's 31. I think he's 32 next March. He's had more clubs than Tiger Woods. He's played for about 10 British clubs. Real Madrid, Italy clubs. He's in Marseille now. He's your defensive midfielder. He's good in that position. He's a bit like Conte, but actually, if you're going to go for Diarra, let's go for Kante because he's younger, about 10 years younger. No, not quite 10 years, but about 8 years younger, and he's that sort of player. Diarra's a good player, but we've got Schweinsteiger, Carrick, Rooney. We've got a number of players in their early to mid-30s, and we need to be buying young players, which we like, and we've got plenty of, or we need to be buying players who are 25 to 30 in their prime and are going to be here for a few years. That's my thoughts on Diarra. Don't know what anyone else is thinking. Draxler can play the number 10, says Chris O. Thomas Bennett says there's lag. Apologies, there does appear to be a bit of lag. Maybe try refreshing. This is always the problem with Google Hangouts. This is why I prefer to do the more professional background, but we have gone a little bit more raw for the transfer stuff. So apologies for that. I'll get it sorted for the 9 o'clock show tonight. Too old Diarra, says Ahmed Hassan. Stones is so overrated, says David Beckham. I presume that's to do with Manchester City willing to pay £50 million for him. I've always liked Stones. I think Mourinho would get the best out of Stones. Martinez was a very attacking manager at Everton, and he never really paid much attention to his defenders. But £50 million, I'm out. You could add 10 million onto the 30 million Manolas should cost. I'd rather pay 40 for Manolas or Varane. I'm not happy paying Stones 50 million, which I'm going to be a bit of a hypocrite when I talk about Pogba in a moment, but 50 million for Stones, he's just not worth that. It's ridiculous. So talking of which, chill out. I don't want to spend that much on Pogba. I'd rather have Rodriguez and a defender for 80 million. James Rodriguez got a bit quiet. He will be signing for somebody. Same agent as Mourinho. Could easily come. So we'll see about that. What about Darmian, Mark? Well, we'll talk about some players leaving in a moment. I think that's very interesting. The journalist Andres Varela claims Pogba will not join us and said he will leave Twitter if he is wrong. Not sure how credible he is. That's from Kev McGee. Martin's on about Muller. That's never going to happen. I think the only chance with that was because he likes Van Hal. Carlo Capello saying Kevin Morales. I'd rather Real got Pogba and we got James and Cruz. There's something I was reading today. Jitan on about Ross Barkley. As an outsider, I would like us to sign a British player, and I think Ross Barkley is like John Stones. I think he could be turned into a really good player under Mourinho. I'd like Ross Barkley as well, but I don't think he'll leave. I don't think he will. Johan saying Barkley as well. Interestingly, before we talk about Pogba, Tony Kroos is he's got a £64 million buyout clause, which I wasn't aware of until this morning because Man City are sniffing around him. Surprise, surprise. Very good player, Kroos. I think actually it'd be a lot of you have said in the past that if you had a choice between Tony Kroos and Paul Pogba, you'd go for Tony Kroos. But if he's going to cost £65 million for Kroos, I think it's about 26, 27. And then you've got Pogba for £100 million, who I think is 24 next March, so he's 23 and a half. A lot of you would go Tony Kroos. Personally, I would go, it's very, very difficult. I probably would go Pogba because I know a lot of you don't want Pogba, and I don't think we're going to get Pogba, but if we do, I just think he is a world star. He is capable of sensational things in an attacking sense, and I think he's still got 2 or 3 years to get even better. He's not performed in the Euros, and I think a lot of people are judging him on that, but not many players have performed in the Euros. It's very hard to perform in the Euros because it's international football. You're put together with a load of different egos for a few games this season, and it's difficult. Diak says your video is messed up. Hit refresh. I don't know what is going on with the live stream today. If people are having problems with that, do let us know. Apparently the sync is out with the audio, which is really frustrating, but that's what you get with these live things. I think it's important to do the live things to interact, but I apologise. We've done about 20 of these over the last month, and we've never had this before, so I suppose we can't complain too much, but I do apologise for that. Unis or Lozano, Adam Unis, interesting. We've got a video on him tomorrow. He's sort of slipping out. He doesn't even make it onto the show today. He's sort of slipping out. But I would like to sign him as well. And I think Unis or Lozano are good because they're both young players who can come in and do well. What are we on about? Paul Pogba, yeah. So £100 million. I'm going to contradict myself slightly because I said I wouldn't pay 50 for Stones, but I think that's just the British tax, and I don't like that. Carlo Capello, it's not my internet. It's fine for everybody else, so don't worry about that. Yes, Pogba, £100 million. I'm going to be slightly hypocritical. I don't really care about how much people pay. You know, it's like being taken out for dinner in a nice restaurant and someone's paying the bill. You know, whatever. Get me the finest lobster and champagne. I don't care. It's not my money. It is our money, in a sense, for Manchester United, because the fans put the money in through Sky Sports, your TV subscriptions, your buying of the merchandise. But a lot of that money goes into the Glazers' pocket, a massive amount. So if we're going to spend £100 million on somebody like Paul Pogba, who is a world star, then I'm happy for that to be done. He's probably not worth it. He's probably worth about 60. But if it means it puts us to the top of the queue, which is the situation with Pogba at the moment, is we are interested in Pogba. We're willing to pay more than anybody else in wages and a transfer fee. Which is we always said winter was coming for the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid because they can have the status, they can have the sunny weather, but the British clubs have got more money, and money talks in football at the moment, and we can outbid. We've got to take that advantage. I'm sure if it was on a level playing field and Real Madrid and Barcelona are offering the same money, I bet Pogba would go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. I bet he would. But if he's not, then we'll have to just see what happens with that. So, yeah, I would pay the money. I would take him over Cruz. I think if he comes into the team, he's going to get a few goals. I mean, what I said yesterday, in the last 2 days with Zlatan and Mkhitaryan, we scored around 40-odd goals last season under Van Gaal, which was absolutely ridiculously bad. In the last 2 days, we've just doubled our goals tally for next season, which how many more points is that going to be if our defence is as good, which it will be under Mourinho? You know, Zlatan, over a career, and I keep saying this, since the pub last night with some people who were doubting Zlatan, over his whole career, we're talking Sweden. You know, a lot of people say he's played for the best sides, but the best sides employ the best players. He's a fantastic player. But even Sweden, which aren't a world superpower, he's kept up his stats over the last 13 years of a goal every game and a half. If he plays 40 games for Manchester United next season, he will score 20 to 25 goals. That's going to make a massive difference. Mkhitaryan, again, his stats, goals and assists are massive. We are going to score a lot more goals next season. You bring Pogba in there, again, he scores a lot of goals for midfielders. So it's a definite do deal for me. But I wouldn't be unhappy with Cruz. Do I think Pogba's going to be done? I'm not 100% sure. I still think that Madrid might just find the money, but I do like him. Ibra's not too old, Sam Hain, at all. I think he's absolutely superb. We should help. That was a good comment, that was. Where was it? Belridge won. We should help Real by Pogba by giving them £40 million for Cruz. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be overly bothered about that. Johan, I'd prefer Barkley over Draxler. We're probably going to be in the minority, Johan, but I would as well. Sorry about that. I've got a bit of a nose problem today. I don't know why. And it's sort of catching in the back of my throat. We need a centre-back and a centre midfield, Manolas and Cruz. I think the thing with Manchester United now is I've said this a few times now, let's not get greedy. We've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I cannot overestimate what a superb signing is. And I'm pro Zlatan anyway. We're probably going to make him a couple of £100 today by saying this. Go and get his autobiography. It was written a couple of years ago before now, but if you want to learn about the man, it's brilliant. There's a superb quote in there. If Jose Mourinho lights up a room, Pep Guardiola draws the curtains. And that is a genuine quote from his book. He can't stand Pep Guardiola. He threatened to beat him up if he didn't sell him to Milan when they were at Barcelona together. It's going to be a fantastic season. And if you haven't seen his interview as well, absolutely superb. He's an absolute legend, and I can't wait for it. Mkhitaryan, some of you won't know a lot about him, but he's going to be absolutely sensational as well. Centre midfielder, whether it's Cruz, whether it's Pogba, whether it's Andre Gomez, whether it's Kante, we need to get one in, and then a centre-back. And I would go Manolas, as you all know, but I'd be happy with Varane. I don't want to pay 50 million for Stones, but one of those three would be very good. Right back, potentially, we do need a right back. I would admit that. Big T, I'm back. How are you, Mark? Don't know where you've been, but I'm good, thanks. And just a reminder, 9 o'clock tonight, we are back with Sunday Night Live. Pretty much going to be back all the way through now. And for the rest of the year. 9 o'clock Sunday night's back. And I've got a great show for you tonight. Zara's back on. She'll probably be presenting as well. I'll be on it. A couple of guests and all of you talking Pep Guardiola v Jose Mourinho. It's going to be a great show. Obviously, it'll be encompassing a lot of the signings, a lot of their signings, what to expect from the season ahead, the history, and it's going to be a very, very good show. Looking forward to that. Do I want Bonucci, says Karen Deep. I do want Bonucci, but I tell you what, it sort of feeds into Darmian a little bit. Darmian getting so much stick on Twitter last night from Manchester United fans. I find it really hard. You should never have a go. I mean, I saw somebody saying Schweinsteiger was shameful. I find that just disgusting. Unless you're talking Fellaini, who I think totally deserves it. I think Darmian's been totally ruined by like a lot of players by Van Gaal. His confidence is shot to shit. And you know what? It wasn't his fault they lost last night. It was that idiot Sasa and his little bloody running on the spot before the penalty. Darmian's not a penalty taker. It was a poor penalty. His confidence is shot, but I think Mourinho could turn it around. But if you're asking me now, I think potentially Darmian will be going and we will be buying another right back. We're heavily linked to Fabinho from Monaco. Be doing a video on him later in the week because I think that deal is looking more and more. As Connor says, he's only missed a penalty. Schweinsteiger missed a penalty. I thought Schweinsteiger was superb last night, and the encouraging thing was he's the captain of the German side that's very good, and he played 120 minutes. If we're turning our nose up at the German captain playing centre midfielder for 120 minutes in a Euro 2016 quarter final, then what's going on? And somebody actually said, Alex said this. I'll out him actually. We were tweeting last night, and he said, "I think I'd prefer Schweinsteiger over Rooney in midfield." I mean, are we actually having a laugh? Are we having that debate? Wayne Rooney as a centre midfielder over Bastian Schweinsteiger? Get out and walk. Ridiculous. A few of you talking about. John Kibaki says that Herrera should stay. Who knows what's going to happen with Herrera and Schweinsteiger and Schneidlin. But Mata to Everton and Barkley to United, says Average Joe's Gaming. Yeah, I can't see Mata going to Everton, can you? I think Mata, if he's going to go anywhere, he's going to go back to Spain. I think that's obvious. I think we could offload him to Italy quite easily, but he probably wouldn't want to go to Italy. I think Mata's days probably are numbered, and I've said it so many times. I'm just reading some of your comments here. And this is a very good comment from Man United Zone. Darmian was the best right back at the start of the season in the country, and he was. People forget that. First 4 or 5 games, he was absolutely superb, and then Van Gaal messed around with him, and he never really got his he never really got his confidence back, and that's very true. Mata is gone, says Growl. I think Mata will go. However, Big T says he's the face of our kit campaign, so he will stay. I sort of said I think he might last till January and have time on the bench. I don't think he's going to be a first-team player. Carlo Capello's on about Croatia in the Euros, and Piacic looked hot. We're not linked to any Polish or Croatian player, so I wouldn't be expecting one, if I'm totally honest about that. Verratti says Abishak, he's not been mentioned for a while. But Mata, lovely bloke, but what does he offer to the team? You know, we are getting pace on the right midfield now, which is what we desperately needed. We're getting players who can play at number 10 already. Where does Mata fit in? At the best, he's going to be on the bench. He might surprise us and survive the summer cull, but I think long term, he's pretty much gone. Pre-season, when does that start, says Hussein? I think it's 2 weeks on Friday. It's ridiculous. Absolutely can't wait. It's going to be great. And we will be doing all the watch-alongs for anybody who didn't join us last year. Every Manchester United match from pre-season right through the season. We'll be live on air about half an hour before every game, and we'll be sat there, me and a guest, and all you on the live comments, watching the game together, giving our thoughts. It's going to be a fantastic season. I cannot wait. Fellaini, says John Kibaki, will he be sold? I hope so. I tell you what, I did the dance when we signed Zlatan. I said I'll never do a dance again. If we sell him, it'll be the best signing of the season. Best bit of transfer business. He's got to go. Pogba has followed Man United, says Jack. Yeah. I do worry about Pogba. I think it's very reminiscent of Ramos but at last year and Fabregas the year before, but let's just see what happens with it. I'm quite relaxed about it. What about the youth, Mark, says MUFC Fan 11. I'm going to do a video on the youth. Don't worry about that in the next couple of weeks. What's your starting 11 now, says Big T. Well, it's changed from the one I've got out from a couple of weeks ago. Probably have to do another video about that and give it some thought. Seamus Coleman, I'd love him to be signed. That's from Sisarkak Humour. Seamus Coleman, I think me and Kev last summer said we would like him. We got Darmian. I'd like Seamus Coleman. I would like Seamus Coleman. But are Everton going to sell that many? They're always quite stubborn, Everton. They're a difficult club to deal with. Drinkwater or Kante? Kante, definitely. Gary Wells. what's going to happen to Herrera, Mark? I don't know. I suppose with people going out the door, I mean, who do you think we're in such a question mark area? Mourinho has almost said that he's going to give everybody a chance, and we'll just have to see what that. I don't think certain players deserve a chance. I don't think Phil Jones deserves a chance. I don't think Rojo deserves a chance. I don't think Fellaini deserves a chance. I think we know a lot about players already, that if he makes decisions to get rid of them, he hasn't got to worry about the players. So we'll just have to wait and see. Lozano, sign Michael Keane. I've heard that Mourinho wants to sign Hazard and Azpilicueta. What's your thoughts? Nah, I don't really want Chelsea players, to be honest. That's the past, and that's Mourinho's past. We need to be looking to the future. Apparently, Mkhitaryan has been announced. Let's have a look. Wouldn't surprise me. I personally thought they were only waiting for a day to do that. So let's just have a look and see. It will not surprise me at all if it's the truth. No, he's not been announced. So nice little one. I've been blagged live on air there, but it's all right. We'll just block the people who do it. No, there's nothing on there. Well done. It's not true. So yeah, that's where we are with it. Now on Sky Sports. There's people who come on the live comments box and think it's really funny to try and blag us, but they'll be blags themselves because they're going to have to set up new accounts to come back on, aren't they? So if you want to mess about and be like that, that's fine. But we're a serious Manchester United fan channel, and a lot of people comment on there and get involved with it. And if you want to troll on there, there's a club called Arsenal where shit fans go. Go and support Arsenal. Luke Shaw going to be great next season. He is going to be like a new signing, St. Colombo. And Sal Rojo, says Dylan Larty. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Varane, says Gibney. Ali Riaz sure will feel like a new signing. So, in summary, Diarra, we don't want him, do we? Pogba, sort of split decision there. I'm not convinced. Kroos has been mentioned, but I'm not convinced we don't get Pogba, we get Kroos anyway, because I think Man City want him. And we've not really been linked to him, but I would like Kroos. Kroos or Pogba would be dream time in the midfield. Lozano, I do like the look of him. I accept there's Draxler, there's Adam Unis, there's Gabriel Jesus. There's a few options there, but I like the look of Lozano from Mexico. And also Diarra, don't want him, do we, as I said. And people going out the door, it's so very, very difficult to predict. Bifrost, Bigfoot says, Mark, you're starting 11. Okay, off the top of my head, De Gea in goal. Darmian at right back. I still think he can be good. I think Mourinho can get the best out of him. Smalling and Manolas centre-backs. Luke Shaw, like a new signing at left back. Midfield, definitely Schweinsteiger and Pogba. Right side, Mkhitaryan. Rooney, number 10. Martial at 11 on the left. And Zlatan up front. That's as things stand at the moment. I'm not saying... If we buy another right midfielder like Draxler, then you move Mkhitaryan into Rooney's position. Rooney goes on the bench or gets sold, and you put Draxler out on the right. Just as things stand at the moment, we need another centre-back and another centre midfielder. And I would be happy with Adam Unis, Hirving Lozano, and Draxler, or even that Gabriel Jesus looks good. So, I would be happy with those. Right, I think I've spoken for long enough. Apologies for the any lagging with the live stream. That was my mistake at the start. I never should have let that happen. I'm going to go and smack myself in a minute. We are back live tonight at 9 o'clock. We will be touching on transfer stuff because it's inevitable we'll be touching on transfer stuff when you do a debate on Jose Mourinho v Pep Guardiola. Got Zara probably going to present it. She will be on the show anyway. I'll be on the show, and it'll probably be Alex or Joey as well, and all of you lot as well. It's going to be a really good half an hour debating it. It's massive. I think, people can keep watching Euro 2016. I've sort of given up on it. But we are fast approaching the Premier League season now, and I don't think you can underestimate this epicenter of football in Manchester. Massive signings coming in. I'm sure Man City will make some as well. And it's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Please do drop us a like. Loads of you watching. Really enjoying doing these Sunday morning shows, talking about the transfers of the week. It's all about United now, says Terry S. Another great live video. See you next time, says Average Joe's Gaming. 9 o'clock tonight. Do join Zara and me for that later. And it's going to be another transfer show, really. And we will be doing a live reaction as soon as Mkhitaryan signs. Nolan, any news on the merchandise, Mark? Yeah, we're doing stuff about that. And personally, in relation to the United Stand, in about 2 weeks' time, we've got a couple of big things happening. If you're a United Stand fan channel, United Stand fan of the channel, some couple of great things coming up. And also, don't forget, we're fast approaching. I think probably in a week's time, fantasy football will be coming out, and we've got some brilliant prizes linking in with Hotel Football, which is the hotel just across the road from Manchester United's football ground, owned by Gary Neville and Ryan Giggs. We'll be filming the watch-alongs a lot from there next year, and also they're giving us hotel rooms and hospitality packages, which we'll be giving out as part of our Fantasy Premier League United Stand thing, which again is going to be great. So watch out for that. Loads of exciting stuff coming up, and it's all about giving back to you lot. So we've got loads of prizes this year, which will include new merchandise and everything. So keep getting involved. Don't ever think we don't think about you. This channel is always about you, and without you we're nothing, and with you we're everything. So keep getting involved, keep liking, subscribing, spreading the word. I'll tell you what as well, for those who've hung about for a bit later, I'll stay for a minute. I was really wishing this morning, but I wanted to do the video, and I've taken no notes at all. No notes. All I knew is we've got to talk about Pogba, Diarra, Hirving Lozano, and that was it, because that's the title of the video. Oh, come on, the comments are whizzing through like that. I apologise if I don't read everybody's out, but there's so many of you get involved, and I do read them as I'm talking. And the ideas you give me, we've just spoken for half an hour very easily with no script, no bit of paper. So I applaud you all for that. And it's always the same, and I don't know whether I always make that clear, but I do read all the comments. And I can just do it for you. As Dalba says, freestyle. It's so easy to do with all you lot watching. So I applaud you all. So do drop yourself a like, because you're liking yourselves at the end of the day. And just keep spreading the word of mouth. But fantastic comments. That's why I do it. You know what? I do love doing it. And it's never a chore. So hopefully you will enjoy it as well. Daniel just finally talking about Blind. It's such an exciting time. Somebody's on about the sound. The sound should be fine. I don't know what's going on with the sound. We have had problems this morning, but that's another side of the story, is who's going to leave. And it's very hard to predict, but we will do videos for everybody. Obviously, Ryan Giggs left. That's really sad. There's a video up on the channel about that, but I think it's right for the club and it's right for him. But I've blabbed on enough. Loads of you have watched. Keep getting involved, and do join us tonight at 9 o'clock for what's going to be a great debate. Daily content on the United Stand, and speak to you all later. Thank you.